you guys? Thank you for tuning in to the Barber's Eye channel. Check it out. Today, we got Shaun the barber. We're going to do an interview with him, talking about how he came to getting a barbershop, when he started, his struggles, to barbershop owner struggles, to his beginning. So we're going to give you guys that video today, man. So let me introduce you to Shaun. Where's your shop, Shaun?
What's up, man? I'm over here at Vinyl Rock Barbershop. We are in Rockland, California, NorCal representing, man. So thanks for letting me on the channel, Ray. Appreciate it, man. Good to catch up with you, man.
Appreciate you.
Excited for the interview, man.
Coming in, man. Yeah. I've been wanting to do this interview for years, since before COVID, man. We worked together for a while, and I got to know Shaun on a personal level. So just seeing how his vibe was and knowing him, I always wanted to come back and do this interview. So we got to do it today, man.
Yeah, man. I'm psyched, man. It's good to catch up, man.
Well, so today I'm just going to be basically asking you questions about your experience. You know, what you've been through, how you even became a barber, why you even chose to get into the field, and you know, your do's, your don'ts, your highs and your lows, man. So just give it to me raw and just let me know, you know, where you're at. You know what I mean?
How we do it, man.
So, first, what got you into barbering?
Man, for me, it was music, man. I was always playing music as a kid, and I kind of always associated that with hair. You know, rock stars always had crazy hair, and even myself just kind of doing my own hair as a musician. I started cutting up my bandmates, and then the more we would play out, I would cut up other musicians, and so that just always stuck with me, man. Like the rock and roll thing, and just music and hair. And you know, as I got older and older, man, like, you know, I did a little less music, a little more hair, and now, you know, I still get to do both, man, you know?
Yeah, so you still playing a band now?
I don't play in a band, but I still play music, man, you know? It's still, I'm not really chasing the dream anymore, man, but, you know, that's the hair game now, you know?
Yeah. It's a different dream, but
yeah.
So when you, well, I didn't even know you were in a band, man, so what'd you play?
I did, guitar and vocals, man, just out there letting it loose, you know?
Yeah, cool. So how many years have you been into the barber industry?
In barbering in particular, probably about 8 years now.
Nice.
The cosmetology as a hairdresser, probably about 10 years right before there.
So you got both too?
Yeah.
So you got the dual. So what made you get into the Cosmo aspect in the barber one?
Yeah, it's funny, man. When I ended up down in San Diego, I ran into a musician buddy of mine, and he was also doing hair. And when I linked up with him, it just clicked, man, because he looked like the same dude. He still dressed like a rock star, but instead of a guitar, he just had scissors. And for me, I was like, that's it. Like, you know I can still do what I like to do. I don't have to, dress a certain way. You don't got to really answer to this 9-to-5 boss thing. And
True.
He pitched me on it, and he barely had to sell me on it, dude. I was in from the get-go. So
yeah, nice. So when you first start cutting hair, when you actually start cutting somebody's hair that you didn't know, coming into a shop, man, how was that feeling? Like when you're first person?
Dude, if I could take it back to the first client cut, like at a school.
Yeah.
I remember like that whole day, everyone knew it was coming. You were going to cut that day. There's no escaping it. And I was just like, man, I'm going to go in there, and I was like pumping myself in my head, like, I'm going to knock it out. It's going to be sick. Like I was way too overly confident, you know what I mean, for my skill set at the time. But you have to be honest, man, like I enjoyed it. I once I started cutting, and I just kind of like went through my steps and, let that artistic eye kind of take over, man. Like, it took a while, but like it was really fun, man. I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed dissecting what was in front of me. But yeah, man, I laughed. I wasn't nervous, for sure, man, because you're like, if I mess this up, man, like, I don't know, like, what happens to your self-confidence, man, if you mess that up, that first cut, but.
Yeah, hey, you know what, that's so important, too, to talk about, man, is that confidence, because that cut, when you're cutting someone's hair, and sometimes it can make you or break you, man. I remember, because I went to cosmetology school first, too.
Right.
And I remember this girl cut somebody's hair, and she didn't do well, and she wanted to get out of school, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, man, it's like, I was nervous too. It was like, damn, it's scary, right? Cause, like you said, that confidence, it could be a confidence booster or a confidence breaker, man. So that's a tough one, man.
Yeah, and that's why that statistic is so real. They say X amount of people, like, they drop out of the biz, 2 years into it. Some of them don't even get through school because the confidence just shatters right there, man. Or they find out it's really not for them. Truly, once you understand the industry and what you're really doing, and you realize it's a lot more about customer service and building relationships just as much as it is as the artistry side, and people start kind of understanding what that's really about, then you just see those people drop off left and right.
Bro, but what you just said right now, man, that's what people don't realize. That's what it is. Like I say that like all the time, you know, probably not in the same way, but I put it out there just like that, man, because, you know, people don't understand. It's like, yeah, I mean, you have to know how to cut, but you also have to have people skills. You know, it's customer service. You got to know how to read people a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to. It's more than just a haircut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's a good one, man. Good eye for that one. So for you, did you ever feel like you wanted to quit, or did you ever have those situations where you were kind of getting just discouraged in any way?
Man, that's a good question, right? I would say maybe after about a year after graduation, you get your license. I was pretty fortunate to get into a salon at the time that was pretty cutting edge, and I assisted under a guy that was really well known, super talented, and he was almost so good that like I never felt I could be that good, dude. You know what I mean? So that was a little tough to kind of overcome, especially some of his teaching styles, man. Like he was a little more on the tough love side of things.
Yeah, I get that.
And, you know, in the end of it all, like, you know, obviously it worked out. Here I am still cutting hair all these years later. But I remember,
you own your own shop. Yeah. So.
But I remember, man, there were days I go home, I was like, man, maybe, you know, maybe I'm not cut out for it. Like maybe, you know, so there was a little time where I questioned it, but I really kept falling back on like, this is actually what I like to do. Like I love doing hair, and I really like the people side of it, man. I like that relationship building, dude. You're making friendships that, you know, to the point to where you get bummed when they leave. You get bummed when they move away.
That's
dude.
true. Yep. Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I had some of those relationships too, man. You know, you hate to see them go, but you understand, you know, they got to go. Yeah. They got stuff to do. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, for you, do you see yourself doing anything else, like as far as like in the future, or do you see yourself like going into another field or anything like that, or is this something that you're like?
Yeah, I'm always entertaining like other endeavors, but mine is very hair centered. Right now, I'm in the middle of another project, but it has everything to do with hair. It has to do with the brand, man, Vinyl Rock. You know, I got something special here. I really like our vibe. I like, you know, our approach to hair with just what we provide for the community. And so I'm trying to take that on the road. So, you know, I'm working on a mobile trailer.
Oh yeah,
so we can
good.
go to, you know, art shows or breweries or festivals and, you know, all these other music things. I want to tie it back into music. So if I can get the brand on the road and build it that way, I mean, you know, I'd be a pretty happy person. So that's what I'm working towards right now.
That's a good idea, man. Did you ever have one of those like the transition understandings for yourself that like you're actually the owner of the shop? Like, you know, when you go from a barber and then you're just running your own thing, and then now you look at it, you're like, damn, this is my responsibility. You know what I mean? Do you ever had any of those moments?
Yeah, man. For me, and I'm sure every owner's got a different answer for this, man. Those lines are so blurry for me. I often struggle to get out from behind the chair. That's like my weakest link, man. Like I love cutting hair, and I have really close relationship with my clientele. I'm horrible at saying no, especially when someone's walking in trying to get a cut. Like, I've gotten better at saying no over the years, but I mean, there are moments where it's just like, you know, you're definitely proud of what you built, and you're like, man, I own this place. It's great. Like, I've seen it kind of grow over the years, and you know, so it's nice to have those moments and reflect. I'm like, yeah, man, like I built this, you know, and like I built it with my team and my barbers, and my wife's been by my side the whole time, and like we've been through a lot to get to where we are. So there's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to reflect on in that respect, but it is really challenging to step away from the chair to really focus on ownership. And it's almost like its own separate job, man, because you got to talk about, you know, marketing, the finances, the advertising, like growing the brand, like making decisions like, you know, if we have this budget, what are we going to spend it on? Are we going to buy t-shirts? Are we going to buy hats? Are we going to spend it? You know, it's really setting the shop to grow and succeed. You can't do that or create that time if you're stuck behind the chair cutting 8-9 hour days, dude. And then you go home to a family. When are you gonna hop on the computer and make these big decisions and have these big conversations? You know, even making the time to have team meetings and discuss things, get on the same page as a unit. Like that is important. Those are things that I definitely need to improve on myself. Because like I said, man, when you love what you love, it's real easy and comfortable to just get stuck right there, dude. And like right behind the chair, I feel real comfortable, you know? So it's hard to break away sometimes.
I hear you on that one. Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's a good endpoint there, man. Just it's a good view from coming from an owner, you know what I mean? From a barbershop owner.
It's true, man. That's all. It's a difficult thing to break away. But a lot of my friends that are successful shop owners as well, I see them out there doing it, and they're not behind the chair nearly as much. And I'm like, I gotta go do that, man.
Yeah, I understand. That's a hard place to be, because especially when you love cutting hair. You know what I mean? When you don't really love it, it's easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you enjoy it, it's different. So I was here when you were when you took over the shop. Well, I left after you took over the shop, I think. But when that time, when you took over the shop, what were you? Was it something that was like a big? Because it was an investment, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, was it something that you were like, I don't know if this is gonna work, or I'm just gonna do it? What was your mindset with that one?
Yeah. So for me, the timing of that is crazy, and I also love that me and you kind of were the first people here, bro. Thinking back at it, that's kind of great. But during that time, right before the previous owner had reached out, I was already putting together business plans, looking at other properties, running financials. And you kind of put your typical like 3 to 5 year growth plan together. You know, you got X amount of investment. We're going to put this much into it. And then you kind of do the math on the back end and you give yourself, okay, by year 3, we're here. By year here, we're 5. And when you're solvent, then you kind of grow your plan out from there, right? So blessed to be in a place now where we just re-signed for another 5 years.
Oh, nice.
So clearly Vinyl Rock's on the right track. That's really exciting to even say out loud. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Considering what we've been through, right?
Yeah, I know, especially through the COVID.
Yeah, man. But it was interesting, man. It came out of nowhere where when Sam called me up and offered to take over the shop, man, it was a curveball, because I had already had 2 or 3 other locations I had kind of just started the groundwork on and kind of like negotiating the deals there. So, but I couldn't turn this down, man. I already knew the community.
Yeah.
The clientele I was familiar with, you know, and I had only stepped away for a little while to help, you know, some friends at some other shops. So, I mean, the timing, it kind of just fell in my lap. It was crazy, man. Life's crazy like that.
Yeah, it is. It
is.
Know? Yeah, it's a trip.
So I just gotta go with some signs, dude, you know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, at least you took the chance, man, because like you said, look at it now. And for you guys that don't know, the guy we're talking about, Sam the barber, he used to be the old owner of the shop, and then Shaun took it over after he. Sam called you.
And Barber Sam's a man, dude. I hope if you get him on this channel, he's gonna have some stories for you for sure. But yeah, I learned a lot from Sam.
Yeah, me too.
Mad respect to that dude, forever, for sure.
So going on after opening the shop, and then COVID, you know, after that. How'd you survive COVID, or what was your thoughts on COVID time?
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people thought the world was gonna end. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, what was your thoughts, and then how did you survive through that time?
Man, survival's an interesting word. I don't think anyone really survived it. I think everyone was affected by it in such different ways, man. Obviously, hearts out to people that like lost people through all that.
Right. It's tough.
Everyone's really fought through that in very different ways, man. But from a business perspective, you never plan for that stuff, dude. You know what I mean? You plan, you know what I mean? That, like I was just saying, like, okay, we got this great game plan and we got everything planned out to the dollar, dude. We're on a 5-year plan, and if thing goes this, and even if you got a little bit of a hiccup room, right, you're okay. What you don't plan for is like a worldwide pandemic to close your business down for months at a time.
In the corner, COVID.
Yeah, like an Astro guy. I'm like, oh. So yeah, that's major curveball, dude. And you know, you just don't have answers to things. Like there's no game plan. We had some backup funds to float us through it, but you just like everyone else went through it. Like you were kind of just waiting to see, like, well, do I still gotta pay rent? Are we gonna get unemployment?
Right.
And then that's where, again, man, you don't know. It took so long to get details out, so it was really hard to plan for, other than all you knew is that you were about to get shut down. And so like staring that in the face was pretty daunting, man, you know. So
what do you think about being I mean, what was going through your mind as a leader here in your shop, and then seeing how many barbers did you have at the time?
At the time there were 4 of us. Yeah, the time there were 4 of us, and that's tough, man, because you got to play both sides of it, right? Like, I really looked at it from a community perspective, and because that's what we do, we serve our community, right?
Right.
And then right behind that, equally as important, dude, like my team, they got mouths to feed, they got to put food on their table, they got bills to pay. We can't have their lights get turned off at home, like. So it was weird to be this like relay spot where it's like rules are getting set and being made without me really having a say in it.
Right. Yeah.
And then I had to also enforce it.
Right.
Whether I liked it or not. And I know a lot of the team members were like, no, man, like, you know, so that was an interesting time because there were just no winners, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day.
There was no good answers to come out of it other than like, yo, like your spot's always here. I don't know how long we're gonna be closed for, but this chair is always here for you, you know? So it was just tough to kind of juggle that and at the same time be supportive. For my own situation with the way we ran, everyone handled it differently, shop to shop. But for us, unfortunately, at the time, we had a certain property management team that decided to continue to collect rent. And so that's a lot because it was a big barbershop. We got a big spot. I think we're just over 1,200 square feet.
Yeah, that's big.
So,
that's big space.
You know, you do the math on square footage and bills and everything else, yada, yada, yada. I mean, that's out of my pocket. And what I'm not going to do is turn around and collect that rent. Because, you know, pay your booth rent and did not have any clients. Like, you can't even ask them to do that. So as a business owner, I decided, you know, just close the doors, bite the bullet, pay the bills, don't collect a dollar from any of the team. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you don't know unemployment, man. Like, who's going to qualify for it? Who's going to get it? What amount are you going to get?
Yeah, that was tricky time.
Then you can't turn around and tell someone, hey, let me get some of that so I could put it towards the rent.
I know.
While you're just trying to, like, get groceries, dude.
Right,
you know, trying to get toilet paper, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When everything was all out anyways.
Man. You know, it was so crazy. You can't, like I said, you can't plan for it. So for me, it was just like, man, I couldn't sleep at night thinking I was going to take a dollar from my team like that, man. So I just figured, you know, your 3 to 5 year plan changes dramatically when you kind of throw those numbers out the door. But I knew in the end it wouldn't kill us. So, you know, and I couldn't close it if I had lost this place during the pandemic. I don't know that I could have bounced back.
Right.
You know.
Well, good on you, man, for like, it sounds like you stepped up and like been a leader, man. Like that's what leaders do. I feel like they find solutions and they don't try to just, you know what I'm saying? Like they find solutions and not make the problem worse. You know what I mean? So that's cool. Cause like I said, that situation was tough. You know what I mean? It was a tough time, tough situation. I mean, you know, there's some shops I heard that you know, shut down and people still had a cut. You know what I mean? So I get it, man. So good on you.
For sure, man. Yeah.
Oh, so going through everything you've been through and then to today, like, what do you have for anybody going through any struggles for starting out in barbering or cosmetology? Any tips or anything to kind of guide them, help them if they're struggling in barbering, if they're struggling with trying to keep their confidence or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. And you know that it gives me an opportunity to say something that I always kind of quote out, because what you hear in this industry, regardless of what side you're on, if you're Cosmo or barber, you're gonna hear this time and time again, and you'll hear it from a cat that's been cutting for a decade, and you'll hear it from some kid that's been in school for 6 months, and they'll say, you know, fake it till you make it, and I'm like, that
right
burns my eardrums alive, bro, to hear that, dude.
Yeah,
because
me too. Yeah.
You know, you want a catchphrase, man. How about you learn it and earn it, bro? You know what I mean?
That just sounds better. Yeah,
I mean, seriously, man, like fake it till you make it doesn't help anybody at all. It doesn't help the industry. It's sabotaging. It's not healthy, dude. Like if you're young or any age really, and just getting started in the industry on wherever end you're on, take your time with your craft. Like, respect your own craft.
Yeah.
Learn the different ways to do it, because first of all, it's art, so it's subjective.
Right.
Right. The beautiful part about that is that now there's 100 ways to do it. You know, you don't have to approach it the same way I approach it. Me and you could do the same haircut. Someone could show us the same photo. right? And we would approach it differently.
Right, that's
it
true.
would probably come out pretty similar at the end because, you know, we're dope barbers.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but,
Real talk.
but, you know, yeah, man, but it's so important to just take the time and develop your skills, man, and don't rush success. Like, let it, you know what I mean? Don't rush it, man. Like, don't chase the millionaire barber idea year one.
Yeah, that's
like,
true, man. Yeah.
Become really well-rounded. Become skilled.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Build that, and that helps build your confidence, man. Then and then you flip over to the other side of it, like we were talking earlier. It's like, dude, it's the people skills, the relationship building. You don't build relationships overnight.
Nah, you don't. Nah.
You know,
it takes time. Yeah.
It does. Even if you blow someone away with a cut, and you're like, yo, dopest cut I've ever had. Okay, now, you know, do you know that dude's dog's name? Do you know he's got 2 daughters? Do you know this stuff? So as you kind of get that stuff and you build those relationships along with that skill set that you grow, that's the stuff, man. That's like, you start growing that stuff, you know, like barbecue, brother, low and slow. You know what I mean? Like, just take your time with it. Don't rush year one, because you'll get frustrated.
Yeah.
If you try to do too much too quick, you'll get frustrated. You'll see these other barbers out here posting this, doing all this. You're gonna see a lot of success on social media.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit ain't even real, dude.
Yeah,
And you know that, right?
100%, yeah.
It's a whole different world now, to where when we started, it was, you know, it is what it was.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. You still gotta work.
So for anyone just getting started, for me, I'd just say, hey, man, like, dive into you, respect your craft, you know, don't rush it, and be patient, man, and wait out those long days. You know, like we had said earlier, it's like, man, like, some of those days are slow.
Yeah, no.
You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah.
You know, you wait it out, and then that one person comes in, and you were trying to leave 5 minutes ago, and if you would have left, you know, you missed out, right?
Missed out, man.
But you stay, you get that person, you put in the time, and now, you know, you blow that haircut out the water, you make a connection. That person's grateful, you establish that. He comes back 4 weeks later, he comes back 4 weeks later, he comes back 4 weeks later. I mean, do the math on that 10 years down the road.
Easy, yeah.
Because you stayed an extra 5 minutes.
Extra 5 minutes.
And that you caught that last walk-in, bro.
So let me explain to you guys what we're talking about, because these right here are so important, man. Those little things. So before we were rolling, we were talking about, you know, barbers that leave early, you know, or leave too soon, or they say they're going to be here from a certain time and then they don't have an end time. They go sooner. What we're trying to say is, if set a time schedule from 10 to 6, 10 to 7, but you got to stay from that time. Don't leave. You got to get lunch, get lunch. You got to get food, whatever. But stay, you know what I mean? And then, you know, set your time, set your hours, but then stay with those times, because you never know who you're going to get. You know what I mean?
You
never know who you're going to miss.
That's it. It's just,
yeah.
It's stay committed to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of goes back to what I say with, like, yeah, commit to your craft. And that's a big part of it. It's like, you know, committing to your craft is just as important as committing to your clientele that you don't even have yet. But that's the mentality, is the commitment, man. It's whether you're going to come in and work 8 to 4, or even if some people don't have that availability. Some people barbering, they're trying to build it slowly part-time, and you got to respect that grind too. But it's still like, be there when you say you're going to be there, because it builds strong character. It builds good business practice for you to be reliable. So like, when your crew does get to know you, they know, yo, I can't make it in today, but I do know my boy is going to be there from here to here. Like, he could probably get you, let me try to set you up. But like, I can't do that if one of my team members is flaky. I'm like, man, like, I got to be able to lean on my team sometimes, because, you know, when you're a shop owner and you got 3 kids and you're busy, things happen, dude. And that happens for everyone. It's just not me.
Right.
But like, having a strong team
is
is really important, man. And it's really important to double down, man, and just and put in the work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I could have just, I hear you so much, because when I learned how to barber, like the barber that I learned from, you know, Diego, he told me all that too. But I just listened to him because that's what he told me, you know what I mean?
Right,
so when I did it, I seen the results come, and I understood, okay, if I said I'm going to be here at this time and then I'm going to leave at this time, like I was there at the barbershop before he was at times, and then I left when he was at 8 o'clock when he left, you know what I mean? And so when I see other barbers, you know, do the same thing, where they come in and they leave, and it's like, you know, you're not going to reach success. Like, it's just, I think that's the irritating part, because you just know you're not going to reach that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you do what you need to do, you'll get there. You know what I mean? So just going off what you said, man. Yeah, that's what I get excited about because
Me
I
too,
know
man.
it's true. I know
Yeah.
what you're saying is 100% true. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you run your own shop. Though.
That's
You
the
know what I
recipe.
mean?
That's the recipe, man.
Yeah.
It's like anything, man. Like you follow the recipe, you're gonna get cookies at the end of the night, bro. You know what I mean? But if you go off script, you might get some crazy
You
stuff,
might get
bro.
some-
It might not be cookies,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I mean? So stick to the recipe,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Put in the work, man.
That's
you
a
know?
good one right there. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years or so?
Man, yeah, I like to idea growth, man, and being through everything we've been through to get where we're at now. My focus outside of my own clientele, I'm pretty capped out. I do still take new clients, but you know it's hard to get booked. Once you start getting booked out, you know, 2-3 weeks out at a time, it becomes pretty difficult to manage that schedule.
Yeah.
I don't understand like how tattoo artists do that, bro.
Oh, I know.
Where it's like, yo, I'm 6 months out. Like that sounds
crazy.
terrifying to me, bro.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of getting to that point where it's like, okay, getting back to that, how do I get out of the chair and kind of do the other thing? So I really want to kind of focus on growing the brand and really focus on more of what my role will look like more as a shop owner and manager rather than the busiest barber in the shop. You know what I mean? Because my hands get tied, I can't get to this stuff done. And then also because we're independent contractors, it's not really like, cool, like you do the social media, you handle this, like you can't really delegate work because those people respectfully have their own lives, bro. They don't want to do that. I'm just here to cut. I'm here to do my own thing, and you got to respect that. And then also that's what I love about my team is like, because they do come in and grind and they are motivated by the shit they got to handle in their own lives. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. So, you know I can't ask A, B, and C of my squad, and that truly is my own responsibility. And it takes me putting down the scissors and kind of doing more of, you know, the stuff from behind the scenes, man. So it's uncharted territory, but I know that's exactly what the next 5 years has to look like in order for this stuff to grow to the next level.
Yeah, no, that's so important, that stuff that you just mentioned also, because I think people that want to become shop owners, you know, I think there's more of a push now for people to like, you see people getting suites now and people going on their own, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think too, a lot of people don't understand how the difficulties, like you said, you know, family, you got, you know, your own personal life, you got the shop, you got social media, you got to take care of, you got the bills, you got, what if a pandemic happens, you know, what do you do? So it's like, you got all this stuff, and I think that barbers don't think about it, and then they get burnt out too fast, you know what I mean? So what you just said, because coming from you, like I said, you're doing your thing, so it's real. You're not making this up, you know what I mean?
No.
So you're in the position, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I think that's important for people to know out there and people to understand, like, the difficulties and what they should look out for, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And like you mentioned, that burnout is a real thing, man. I feel like a lot of barbers kind of suffer through that, and it's trying to find that balance, dude. That's because, you know, all the respect to the barbers out there that work in them shops where it's walk-ins, turn and burn, you're banging them out, you're chasing that money. Like, been there, done that. Not dissing it, respect it, I get it. Like, you can do great stuff with that, but dude, man, when those guys burn out, they burn out, you know, and it takes a little bit longer to recoup and get back into that passion part of it. So yeah, I mean, because I've done it myself, man. I've done that, you know, where it's just like my whole focus was how much can I get done in a day, you know, and then you start becoming like overly money motivated, and then you kind of start losing sight of some other things. You eventually, if you put so much into one thing, you're sacrificing something on the other side of it, right? So find balance, man. You know, especially I'm an older cat, bro. I can't cut with those young cats anymore like that.
Yeah, no, hey, the young cats out here, man, they're on another level right now.
Yeah, man, it's impressive, man. It's it's amazing. That's what I think is so great about the industry is like, it's really inspiring, man. Even for someone where I'm at, it's awesome to see these newer barbers, man, doing just crazy shit, like really creative. Yeah, man, I really don't hate on any of it, man. I think it's exciting, and you see these kids driven. It's taking social media to a new level, man. And again, that's where I feel left out, dude. Right, it's like, man, I didn't have that.
I hear you. No, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, got mad love for it because it's awesome to see, and I feel like that drives the youth as well because you see someone doing it way more often. You see,
Right.
like, success is in your face all the time, to where back in the day you had to know someone successful
True.
to
Yeah.
get motivated. Like, well, my buddy owns a shop.
Yep, yep.
He's doing this. Like, and now it's just like every other person on Instagram or TikTok's out there doing it the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. My last question for the barber industry and cosmetology as well, because like I said, I like to mention both, especially if you did both.
Yeah, we play both sides of it, man.
What would the biggest thing you would like to see change, like in the bit, not for the either for the good or for the for the worse, whatever, just something that you would like to see change for. I'm talking about barbers and cosmetologists as people in this field.
Man, yeah, that's a good question. This might be a weird answer, but I think for me it starts at the root of it. If anything would have changed for me, it would be the restructuring of the education behind it in the first place.
Yeah,
man.
that's a really good one, actually.
Because,
yeah.
in my opinion, it's just slid the wrong way. The tests to get your license is just getting easier and easier. You're not even testing these kids, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even laugh. I
mean,
know.
come on, man. I'm laughing. You gotta be kidding me, man. It's nothing compared to what you used to have to go through and actually obtain some skill and obtain some knowledge. You had to show. I mean, my test was on a real, actual human being.
A real person, yeah.
I had to shave somebody. I had to cut somebody.
Right.
I had to do all the things, dude. And that person was sitting there watching you like a hawk, marking you off, dude.
Yeah.
And every time that pen moved, you were like second guessing yourself, like, oh man, dude.
Right.
But I just remember like getting drilled in school, dude. I mean, it was no joke. And I look at it now and I'm so appreciative for what I went through, bro, because I wasn't allowed to fake it till I make it, man.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I mean, I've had instances where I got people coming in asking for a spot. They don't even know how to cut hair. I was like, how you gonna want a spot?
That's tough. Yeah.
You don't got no skills. Like, did you go to school? Like, oh yeah, I went to school. I got my license. Like, how? They just giving them out for free now, or what? I've had a person come in with a in hand barber license, everything legit. Never did a shave. Went all through school.
Yep.
Never touched a blade to a human person's skin. Yeah. And I was like, yo, how could I let you put my brand at risk?
Right. Yeah.
Dude, with not knowing that. And so, but you can't blame that person. Right. For me, it's schooling, dude. It is. I don't know if it's more of like more of a money grab than it used to be, but like my respect for education. My wife's a teacher. She's a PhD, brilliant woman. My mother-in-law's a teacher, brilliant woman. I mean, I've just been surrounded by brilliant people, so I have a high respect for education and its importance. And again, that's kind of why that fake it till you make it drives me crazy, bro. Yeah. Because I just see how important it is to really learn something, to really understand it, man. Because what's interesting about hair is like you could show someone how to do it, right? I could show you how to cut hair. What's so much more important is understanding the why. Why am I over directing this hair? Right. Why am I holding this at a 45 instead of a 90? Like it's understanding the why that connects to the how that helps you evolve and understand hair. Like understanding hair as a whole, regardless if you're in cosmetology or barbering, it's really having a full, well-rounded understanding of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Is what sets you up. And it's funny, someone always brings in a picture. It's like, hey, I kind of want this cut. That's great. And I always show that to like a new student or like a new apprentice. And I'm saying, our job right now is to reverse engineer this haircut. I need you to, before you even tell this person anything about this cut, in your mind, you need to know like what's going on in this picture. Like, how does this get accomplished? So you got to break it down in your head and then learn how to do it on their head, because they damn sure don't have the same head as this person in this photo. You don't got the same hair texture. You don't got the same head shape, all that stuff. So it's so important to really have a well-rounded understanding of the industry and just hair inside and out, dude. Like I said, go back to just, dude, do it right. Grow your knowledge, grow your skill set. Like, then when you come at the challenges in the industry, you'll know how to handle them the right way. And there's no guesswork. There should be no guessing, man. And I think that starts with education, man. Day one, whatever school you walk into, whatever apprenticeship you walk into, I mean, it just needs to be legit for me, man. Like, I think education needs to really get new life into it, man, because it's a little stale for me. And I have no explanation to why things just kept getting easier, bro. I don't know how we, as professionals in this industry, want to walk around and demand, oh, we need to be respected as a legit profession, when all we're doing is cheapening our education, bro. You know what I mean? So if we want to be respected as an industry and people take us seriously, I mean, you could ask all the time, like, clients come in and share, oh, yeah, do you have to go to school for that? It's like, no, what do you think? I just picked up scissors off the street and started cutting people's hair randomly, bro? Like, yeah, of course I went to school for this, man. Like, you know, I'm a professional. Like, I work really hard at this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so if we want that sort of respect, like, from coast to coast, like, it starts at education, man. It starts with raising the bar. You know, so by the time that, you know, if you earn this chair, you really earned this chair. You just didn't walk behind it. You know? Yeah, no,
man, that was a great answer, man. That really was, because because it's so real. You can't fake it. You know what I mean?
Man,
the answer was real. Yeah, because I hear you 100%. Now we talk about this at the shop all the time too, with people coming in and the new barbers compared to the barbers that know how to cut hair. I think, though, this is what I think. I think that eventually, like, people like you and I, and, you know, different barbers that want to put a good example and want to show barbers is that there is a way to do this, not just, you know, get a license and say I'm a barber. You know, for people like us, like, you know, to give other barbers, younger barbers, an outlet to go to us, you know what I mean, or come to us with questions, or, you know, how to, or guide them, you know what I mean. So that's the whole point of this channel, you know, is to get, you know, younger barbers the direction, you know. So that was a great answer, man.
Yeah, man, I think this is a great thing, man. I hope you know, all these videos land on these people's ears, man. Like, again, no matter what age you're starting at, hearing stuff like this, man. So I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad to be a part of it, man.
So, no, thank you, man. That was I think that everything that we talked about was on the money of wanting to get that grind, wanting to get that, you know, just that meat of what's going on in the barber industry.
Yeah, man.
So
you know,
I appreciate you sharing,
come
bro.
on, man. It's good to connect, man, for sure.
Yeah. So let people know where you're at one more time.
Yo, yeah, 5975 Rockland on Pacific Street, man. Vinyl Rock Barbershop. Just, you know, hit us up at vinylrockbarbershop.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We got all that. We got some great barbers here. We're here like 7 days a week, man. So, you know, you can book online. It's super easy. And we also just, you know, we don't try to turn away walk-ins either, man. So just cruise on by, just say what's up, man. You know, anytime. We're always here for you guys.
And then if there's young apprentices, anybody that want to check out your shop to try to work here, are they able to come here and check you out?
Always, yeah. The doors are always open here, man. Even if I don't have a spot, I'm always happy to talk to somebody, man, because there's always someone on the fence. And yeah, man, I would hate to turn that conversation away. So, you know, why we only have so much space here, we do host apprentices. So, you know, don't be shy, man. Just come say what's up, dude, for sure.
All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Barber's Eye channel. Check the video out. Check us online on Instagram. Check out Shaun. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.